and welcome to this short review of sorts, right? So these are my new Fathom 2 casting specials, right? This video is for many different reasons. One of them is I just want to do a review of this reel. I know it's been out for a while, but this being YouTube, there are a lot of different opinions and not all of them, I believe, correct. So there's been a lot of negative comments about this reel. I think sometimes it's just down to the fact that a lot of people would like to use multipliers, but when they get them, they don't really enjoy them so much and they get a bit of buyer's remorse, shall we say. Let's talk about some myths about multipliers before I talk about this reel itself. There are myths about multipliers, and the first one is that they cast further than fixed spool reels. Right now there's a lot of fixed spool reel guys going, yeah. I will add to this, they only cast further if the person using them is good with them. That's it. If you are not good with a multiplier and you get one, you are going to regret it. It's as simple as that. You won't get the distance you had hoped initially, right? And it's not to take it out of the box and just go down to the beach and it will cast 20, 30 meters further than a fixed spool reel. No, it doesn't work that way. Personally, myself, this is the first reel I use for surf casting, and it will be probably the last reel I use for surf casting. I've been fishing with these for many, many years, and I have absolutely no problem with them. I hear people say multipliers during the day and fixed spools at night. That to me points out people that really are not competent using them, because the only reason that they change over to a fixed spool during the night is because they can't judge the distance that they cast. And I don't understand that. You can hear it in the reel, you know when it's going to hit the water. Really don't get it, but for some people this is a reality for some reason. I don't get it. I wouldn't run out and buy two different reels to do the same job, is what I'm trying to say. So if I can't get a multiplier to cast well in the nighttime, there's very little chance it's going to improve my distance that much during the daytime. So why own two different reels? Just get yourself a fixed spool and get on with it, right? Just live with the fact that you're not actually good with these, right? And save yourself a bit of money. There's no shame in it. There are plenty of things that I am not good at that other people are extremely good at, and they're very simple things. Some people are good at one thing and some people are good at another. And if you're not good with multipliers, well, don't use them. It's as simple as that. It doesn't mean that you're a lesser being or anything else like that. But having said that, if you are competent with the use of multipliers, they are a fantastic tool. And I'm here to right a wrong in a way, because they have fallen out of favor because of people who aren't good with them doing reviews about them. So first of all, I would like to talk about this reel, and anybody who was thinking about using a multiplier in the future can possibly use this to drive themselves forward, because when you first start using these, possibly you will come up with some problems. First of all, I would like to say, if you're new to multipliers, for the first while, cast with the brakes full on until you learn to listen to the reel, and it will tell you exactly what you need to know. Also, smoothing your cast up. It's a lot different to a fixed spool. It's not just turn and hammer it. You have to load the rod up slowly and then hammer it, and they will behave the way you want them. You will get that extra distance and you will really enjoy using them. One of the benefits of multipliers is they are not so bulky. They are actually really small. If you compare this to a 10,000 size spinning reel, for instance, it is tiny, and a 10,000 size spinning reel is huge. Now I've got that off my chest, I would like to do a little short review on this. So a lot of people had a lot of negative points. The most obvious one was that this knob was in the wrong place, because it got in their way when they were guiding the line onto the reel. So if you see a review where somebody who fishes with that style does not like this reel, I am here to tell you that you don't have to put your hand all the way down here to guide the line on. Guiding the line on is not as critical as people think it is. People are like really critical about this. They think it has to be so precise. It doesn't. It can have small humps and bumps and lumps in it. It won't hurt your casting at all. If the line builds up crazily over to one side and a big slant like that, it will unbalance the reel and it will cause you problems. But so long as it's reasonably flat, you're good. So when I fish, I have my hand up further and I just guide it on with my thumb. You don't need to put it between your index and your thumb, you just guide it backwards and forwards with your thumb like this, right? And you can have your hand all the way up here and the reel all the way down there. It is not a problem. It won't affect the line lay at all. You just have to pay attention that, like I said, it's not built up completely over to one side. And so long as it's just got a few fluctuations in it, you'll be fine. The most of the time that you make the mistakes is when you're coming to the end of the retrieve and you're looking at snags and stuff, and perhaps you wind it up a little bit more on one side than the other. But it is not crucial, okay? It's the same, it just is not crucial. So, on with the review of the Fathom, right? So, normally, for my mixed ground fishing I used to use, and probably will use in the future, once I get the spare parts for them, was the Meg 525. But I am looking for a replacement, kind of, or a reel that will bridge the gap. This reel here fits the bill exactly. Penn in the past have tried to make more heavy beach reels, and some of them are not available here in Europe. I have a Fathom 40, which is the forebearer to this, and it was a much more basic reel. It didn't have magnetics or anything else, which I had put on myself. But now it is a giant version of this, more or less. It is basically a casting special. It has the ratchet, it has the twisty knob, it has the whole lot. It's just much, much bigger than this. It's about 4 times the size of this. And it casts fantastically for the size of it. One of the things I enjoy about these reels is the frame. There is so much room in there. Once you fill this spool, it doesn't matter what size leader you use, the knot is not going to jam on the cage. And I will get you my internationals just to give you a comparison here. So here is the Penn Torque International, right? Now I got these many years ago. Some people say you can't get these reels. Some people say you can get them still. The only thing I remember is the extravagant cost of them. And at the time I was looking for a heavy beach reel. This suited the bill exactly. Not only is it heavy, but it's got a cracking retrieve, and on paper it held a lot of line. But when it came to reality, back then I was fishing with monofilament. When I filled the reel as far as I would normally, and I tried to put a leader on it, it jammed on the cage every time. So it restricted how much line I could put onto the reel. And the reel that I bought, because of its line capacity, was now a little bit more than a Meg 525, that's it. And that kind of stung a bit, but it was still a really great reel, great retrieve, very heavy, helped with my casting, loved it a lot. But then I changed over to braid. Since then, this reel has become more popular in my heart because I can fill it almost to the brim. And now there is 450 meters of line on this, and that is quite a lot of line. So that was what I didn't like about Penn's first effort at a heavy beach reel, if you like. They did say it was light boat, heavy beach, but still, the fact that you couldn't fill the spool with mono that wasn't so good. As I was saying, then I needed another reel just to bridge the gap between this and a Meg 525 if I ever get them fishing again. I don't know, these reels, since I've been using them, I love them a lot. There isn't nothing that they won't do right now. Some of the negative points I heard about was there was a bit of slop in the handle. And it's true, there is a bit of slop in the handle. I mean, but it isn't such an issue. If it had been engineered back in the 90s or early 2000s, no, there wouldn't have been that slop in the handle. But I believe the reel would have been out of other people's price ranges if it had have been as highly engineered as this one, for instance. This has absolutely none. It just doesn't. I don't know how old this is. Well over 15 years old. But this is not a deal breaker for me, right? You can see it there, right? Just a little bit of slop in the handle, that's it. It's not something you generally see in high-end multipliers. I never saw it before, and it doesn't really bother me that much at all. The retrieve off it's fantastic. The drag is fantastic. A beautiful casting reel. Very well balanced. I've already had some really spectacular fish on this reel. And the drag is super smooth. It is so nice. And when you need to get that fish in, you can just crank down on it. It's just fantastic. So I hope that somebody who was unsure about buying one of these reels sees this video. I can assure you that if you get one and you can use a multiplier, or you really want to learn, it's just a matter of sticking to it. You will reap the benefits of the time that you put into it, and really it is not that difficult. What I find with people who are using multipliers who suddenly gain a dislike to them is because that they were nervous when they were casting. And just like anything, if you're skiing down a hill and you were nervous about running into trees, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. You're going to run into a tree because you're a bag of nerves. And it's the same with multipliers. If you think that you're going to get a bird's nest, I can guarantee you it's going to be a messy, jerky, hesitant cast. And multipliers just don't like it. What they like is smooth. That's what they like, smooth. That's all it needs to be, is just smooth. Don't be in a rush. Load that rod up slowly and you will reap the benefits of the extra distance. You can take my word for this, because if you look at my videos, there is not one where I use a fixed spool. It's not that I have anything against them. It's just that these reels are just so fantastic that I would never ever consider changing. Not unless I was possibly injured in some way. I can't imagine what injury that would be that would make me change from a multiplier to a fixed spool. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that if you use a fixed spool that you're a worse angler than somebody else. Angling isn't just about the reel itself. Angling has so many facets to it that the reel is just a tool that can enhance what you do. The reason I like multipliers compared to a fixed spool, if you put them on the beach on the same day and you cast a fixed spool, that's it. That's all it's got. It just casts, that's it. There's no way you can tune it to cast any further. But a multiplier can be tuned to suit the circumstances where you're fishing. So if you put this reel and a fixed spool reel on the beach on the same day, in the same weather, you can tune this reel to outperform the fixed spool. It is a simple fact, if you are able to use a multiplier properly. If you can't, the distance will be approximately the same, I would say. Maybe a little bit further because it doesn't have the line spiral. But other than that, I would say not much improvement. And I think this is something that people suffer from. These breaks are here for a reason, and that's so you can tune the reel, right? Sometimes in the middle of the cast, or sometimes before you cast. Some people adjust it as they're casting. There's many different camps and ways to go with this. If you're thinking about getting a multiplier or this multiplier, I can highly recommend it. But don't let other people's reviews put you off. They might not know what they're doing. Most of these reels have been engineered properly and they do exactly what they should. This one, for instance, a lot of bad press, but it's a fantastic reel. So I'm Billy. This is the Penn casting special. Wherever you are in the world, remember, I see you on the beach. Bye.